Hello once again, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's episode, of course, want to give a shout out to our sponsors who help us bring the show to you for free each and every week on whichever platform you listen. Thanks to Angelo's Pizza. While we still have yet to have a show in Cleveland, they've still been good to us for multiple years now, so we want to give thanks back to them. You can eat inside their dining room currently, socially distanced, of course, and you can also order pickup or delivery from Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. Thanks also to Pollyanna DIY. We still have some pins from him. He's still got some things you can purchase, so support him while he's still in business, although we haven't even really talked to him, so we don't really know what business he's in. And thanks to Smart Mark Video, along with their merger with IndependentWrestling.tv. Smart Mark Video you can go to and find literally anything from the AIW archive that's ever been recorded. It's all there. Buy it on DVD or for digital download. And thanks IWTV, you can now watch AIW pretty much whenever you want through a streaming service, as well as other independent wrestling promotions. Sign up using the code ABSOLUTE and get a 5-day free trial. And
Paul Greer Studios. We're back in the studio.
We are back in the Paul
studio.
Back in the Paul Greer studio with the show brought to you by the mysterious benefactors, the Goldsteins.
What? Okay.
Well, not this month. Not yet.
Catch me up on why all of a sudden everybody has their name attached to this thing.
It's private sponsors.
Why is it Paul Greer Studio?
You of all people.
He made a substantial donation.
His name isn't in your living room anywhere.
Of all people.
I got a neon sign in my house that says Paul Greer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where is it? I mean, if I'm in the Paul Greer Studio, I should know that.
Of all people, you know that money talks.
We're under.
Is this like the football stadium where the field has a name and the stadium has a separate name?
This is like
the Goldstein podcast in the Paul Greer Studio.
Yeah,
Is that what we're
exactly.
doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
It's like,
Apparently, I've been out of the loop for a while.
We have not podcasted in person in 7 or 8 months.
No, we have not.
yeah, this is the very first one. And
I didn't bring this. I didn't bring the Paul Greer neon sign with me, but I assure you, it exists.
This is a special episode. This is the 200th episode of AIW. We weren't going to make a big deal of it, but so many of you wanted us to. And one guest in particular on the show really wanted us to. So we are always joined by AIW owner John Thorne. The Duke is here, who was adamant that he would be a part of this.
Of course.
The Rip City Shooters
sir.
are in the house.
Dookie!
I feel so sorry for those levels.
Oh,
Spiking the levels with everyone's favorite part of the podcast.
my name is Steve Guy, your moderator.
I'm doing this
of
without
sorts.
headphones. I'm so unprepared.
Thorne's
No
already working
headphones
the knobs.
needed, baby.
Thorne's working the knobs already. We're in big trouble.
This is,
Shooters are in the house.
I did reach out to
Studio sold out.
Been a while. Glad to be back. I heard there was an impersonation of me. Should we get that out of the way?
Yeah.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
It
All
wasn't-
right, we're good.
It
A
wasn't.
little cease and desist, Steve.
It wasn't the first impersonation of you. I had done another one previously on the show, but that was I was rusty.
This one used the catchphrases, though. My lawyer was not happy about that. That's all I'm going to say.
We're taking some of those Iceman headbutts collective weekend.
Swoggle was going to do a call-in, but he's busy traveling, so he will
Sleeping.
not be here.
He's sleeping.
Hey, Swoggle.
Sleeping.
Hey, if you're listening, man, how did the Rip City Shooters get to the Oshkosh territory, you know? Little AC dub. We're ready.
ACW Wisconsin.
We're ready, yeah. Wisco. We're trying to get to that Wisco territory. We're ready.
Eddie
Some of that
Kingston.
pepper jack cheese.
Eddie Kingston wanted a phone call during.
Oh, but he knew the shooters were going to be on, and he's
Giants are
too
on.
scared.
He's busy watching the
too
Giants.
scared. The ketchup king.
I mean, we could call him and see if
Ask
it
him.
comes.
Yeah,
Ask him about the
Ask him why he ran to AEW to escape the shooters.
Come on, we're not even 5 minutes in, guys. Let's.
Yeah.
We got a lot to
It's been a
get.
long time.
Pace yourself.
It's been months.
We got a lot to cover.
This guy's got a microphone and he's still shouting.
I don't have my headphones. Who knows how this is sounding?
Oh.
Right,
So unprepared.
It's just one long beep, I think.
Zook. This really came together because of you. You know that because you were.
Oh, don't tell me that because it's going to right to my head.
You. Well, I mean, John and I were talking. We were going to do a 200th episode, but you were so adamant that you wanted to be a part of it when
Well,
we were in
I mean-
Indianapolis. You're like, I gotta be on it.
We had to do. It's a milestone. You have to do something. Every major entertainment venue or vehicle, when it reaches a milestone, always has a clip show or a guest star spectacular or something. You got to have something.
This one snuck up on us, though.
200, baby.
We did. John and I recorded so many interviews when everything went into COVID that we didn't really keep track of what we had.
Yeah, I still haven't released them all. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
We're waiting for second wave to come, and then we'll release the rest.
also we didn't release them because there was a lot of technical difficulties. We were
Yeah.
learning how to use the Squadcast software, and some of the stuff is just it did not pick up properly.
It was, we did what we could. We didn't do anything monumental for the 100th episode, I don't think.
I don't recall. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think it's just business as
100,
usual.
100 really isn't a milestone. It is, but it isn't.
It is, I mean, it's almost 2 years.
Syndication, baby.
It's almost 2
I
years
thought it was
worth
5
of
seasons.
podcasting.
Is it 100 episodes or
Syndication
5
money.
seasons? I always thought it was 5
I
seasons.
think it's 100 episodes.
I always thought it had to have 5 seasons in
100
the can.
syndication
But
money.
is it 100? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So then, should I check us out on TNT at 2:00 in the afternoon?
Let's
Then it was
go.
syndicated.
I don't know. I don't even think we can get on public
After
access.
King of Queens or a Cleveland show or something.
King of Queens, classic.
Doug Heff.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Weird, yeah. The 200's pretty. Look,
It's a big deal.
A lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
a lot of shows don't make it to 100.
I know.
episodes.
200. That's
We
why-
took a lot of time off too.
Yeah, we should have been at 200 about 6 months ago, probably, but that's all right.
It's fine. We're here. We're here now. The last podcast that I did about wrestling only made it to. Well, it was a few after 100, but episode 100 went all downhill from there.
That's how we. I mean,
Roller coaster, baby.
Some would argue that's what we're doing.
John Thorne, do you remember recording the very first episode of this?
yeah, I do, and I mean, and that podcast you referred to is what kind of led it to that happening. I do remember that there used to be a real podcast studio we would go to.
There was. Yeah, we were a sponsor.
So we found out
of this show. I didn't even know that.
Till we found out that the person that was in charge of producing the podcast was also secretly living in the podcast studio.
It's the best kind, man.
Yeah.
2 birds, 1 stone. Come on.
And
We're here.
that
How you
actually
get that Duke money, Wes.
Yes, sir.
that actually is what led to us to purchase all this equipment, because we did not know we didn't know how we were going to ever do a podcast again, because all we would do was we would just show up at this podcast studio and there'd be mics and we would just talk about whatever we were going to talk about. We would leave, and then
that was it.
the show would go up.
Yeah, it was kind of random because you just like walk in, and as soon as you walked in the front door, you were literally in the podcast studio.
Yeah.
You took like 3 steps to the left and sat in the chair, and that was it.
That
and
was
then,
it.
like we just talked about whatever, and we left, and it would just be like, okay, here's the.
Apparently, he'd go upstairs and get the hot plate going and make some
Yeah.
ramen and produce the podcast.
There was no upstairs, pal.
Oh no,
It was
Oh.
all right there.
Oh, okay. So we went behind the door and
Drew the curtain shut.
shook the
and
mattress off.
That
plugged
was
in
it.
the hot plate, and it was ready to go.
That was it.
So I think we might have just recorded 1 episode, maybe 2 episodes that day. I can't remember, and I don't know how many we got into before we had to make the transition to learning how to self-produce.
Oh, I mean, I know that answer thanks to my research in doing this, but we'll get there. But here is the very first words that you spoke on this podcast.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'll be the first to admit, like, every time somebody comes with involved in wrestling comes out with a podcast, it's kind of like eye rolling at this point, What do you think?
Eye rolling are the podcasts at this point, John Thorne.
I mean, it's even worse now.
Yeah, I was about to
I
say.
know. That's what I was thinking. All these years later, and now it's
So were you
There's even more.
continuing with the trend, improving the trend, or just trying to be part of the gang? What was you're shitting on podcasts while you're doing a podcast? So what was the goal here?
Well, and I think Chandler explains it almost immediately afterwards, and if you have that clip.
Yeah. Let's see what he says here.
Mr. Biggins.
I definitely think that tweeting something out, it's hard to read a tweet and then know the entire backstory. So I think this is going to be a way to be transparent. And heck, definitely things happen in AIW. I don't think they could happen anywhere else, especially behind the scenes. And some of the mayhem and the mishaps, I think, are going to lead to some good stories on here.
I don't think he was wrong.
Yeah, true.
So essentially, I know I've said this multiple times on this podcast, but Mike Burns from Smart Mark Video really was the driving force in all this stuff happens to you guys. A lot of the times, people assume it's the promoter's fault. Everyone, like indie wrestling promoters, were very stereotyped throughout the 2000s. But a lot of the times, things are out of everybody's control, or a lot of it ends up falling on the wrestler. And Mike Burns suggested, hey, maybe you guys do this, and it's a way to provide your side of the story, because, a lot of things would go wrong in AIW that were out of our control. And, we feared that eventually people were going to start saying, like, oh, well, this
Like
guy
if somebody
wasn't
cancels, it's automatically your fault. Or
Right.
something. Yeah, I get it.
Which it's funny because that episode as well, if you listen back, is the very first glimpse we get into what has become my job of talking John Thorne off a ledge when it comes to show days, because it's recorded right after a J-Lit of that year. And you just go into how you thought nobody was going to show up. It was going to be a total disaster and everything was going to go wrong. But thankfully, there were people in the bleachers and sitting around the gym.
What year did this podcast start? I don't even know.
Man, that's
Well, 200
2016, says
2016.
young Joshua Bishop.
The greatest year of John Thorne's life. Because he met me.
That hurt, dude.
That's like
Jesus Christ.
What's
maybe.
worse,
I
that
don't
or a fist bump?
So I think he gave me a fist bump
We got one in Indianapolis.
in Indianapolis, and this knuckle is like displaced. Like I can't crack it anymore.
Yeah, and then he threw a shirt at me that was not only wet; it was it looked like it had just come out of the bottom of the ocean. And he like throws it at me. He's like, "Hold this."
I think I got some tendon damage.
He was moist on his way to the
Gallon
ring.
trick.
He was
I didn't have
moist.
a spray bottle, so I just had to dump a gallon on myself.
That's exactly what you did.
That sounds about right. Yeah, 2016. This.
So I was probably worried because Cavs were in the playoffs.
Yep.
and That's the
Cavs
year they
and
go on to win.
Oh, remember that Cavs in the playoffs? Oh yeah,
that is the
Great
year they go
time
on to
that was.
win. The
Colin
Indians.
Sexton will be back, brother.
I think the Indians were at home as well, and so you guys talked about that. And then the very next episode, you get into things, real greasy stuff, and that's the honky tonk man likes to watch episode.
Oh God, that was episode 2.
That was episode.
Jumped right into it. Didn't
Jumped
we?
right
Holy
into
crap.
it. Right into
Bill the
it.
Cage.
It was I'm like, oh well, this is what the show is gonna all be about here, and talking about Michigan. Duke, you came in. I'm trying to think.
12
or 13.
somewhere in the teens was the first time I was on.
There were a couple popular ones. People liked, Aaron Bauer shows up in there talking about New Jack, which was a fun one. And you listen to the early on episodes, and a lot of it's just the back and forth with Chandler. It's bittersweet to sit back and listen to those. But
I had to I had to tape mine with Johnny. Johnny was sitting in the on deck circle.
Johnny had a
You guys did him afterwards.
Johnny had a
double booked.
two-parter.
yeah, yeah.
And Johnny had a 2-part episode. You only got one.
Oh, I only got one part.
But you know what?
I know.
You've been on more.
I mean,
You've been on more.
All in all, I think I made out better on the deal than Johnny did. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You made more money than Johnny Duke?
No, no, I have not. I have not.
Down to the numbers early.
It's all the merchandise that pushes him over the top. All the damn Johnny wrestling shirts.
They're all over the
Some
fucking
Dookie
place.
shirts?
I know.
Dude, did you come on because you were getting ripped on so much in those first like dozen episodes?
Not so much. I mean, I think they talked about one of the many times they did, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is why. One of the many times they've done the various origin stories of certain things or certain groups or certain people, whatever else. I came up and they were telling the story. And of course, Chandler, being Chandler, was spicing it up beyond belief, and Thorne was just saying whatever negative about me he could say, that whether it was true or not. So I felt it necessary to come on and set whatever record I could straight. So that was the first time I came on.
That's that pretty much it. Here's
Duke is in here in studio to defend himself.
Yeah, I am here to defend myself.
He said, hey.
Where is this movie?
He said, hey.
Hold on,
He showed up to an independent wrestling show in the year 2000 and said, hey, I'm a 47-year-old man and I'm making a movie.
All right.
I'm making a movie about pro wrestling, and I need to shoot some live shots in your ring in front of your crowd. My name is the Duke.
Okay, 5% of that might be true. Now, before we get started, since I'm going to get ripped on for the next 35 minutes,
You're lucky this is only at under 40
I know.
minutes.
I'd like to start by saying something that has never been said on this podcast, and that is I came straight from the gym. So let's just start there.
You couldn't tell by looking at you.
Oh yeah, you can. I am ripped and glistening. Are you kidding me?
Dude, the Duke is in here.
ripped and glistening.
Ripped and glistening. Not one or the other, but both.
That was your first appearance.
Still haven't
ever.
made it to the gym yet, have you?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I had a good run pre.
You've never had a good
Nola.
run.
Pre-Nola.
Come on.
Pre-Nola. Pre-Nola. I was getting ready for my big comeback.
He was rolling there pre-Nola. Yeah, that was. What's funny is that was a time where you guys were talking about being under like 30, 35 minutes.
That used to be a rule. We would go 40 minutes or less
Yeah.
for the podcast.
But today we're going at least 2 hours.
Oh my
Live for you,
Live-
the people at home or in the
200
car,
show, we
or
get a
wherever the
little
fuck
extra
you
prime
listen to
time.
the show at.
We get 2 hour window at prime time.
A little bit of AIW podcast trivia. Do you know the very first episode that went over an hour?
I do not.
It was when you guys traveled to Chicago in Colt
Cabana.
Cabana.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
We recorded that in the studio apartment,
Which-
in the actual studio
In
apartment.
the studio.
I'll never forget that. And
apartment. I remember Biggins kept doing that, right?
Biggins was like, because Biggins was such a wrestling fan, and we've known Colt for 20 years. He was marking the fuck out. He's like, we are in the studio apartment, dude. And
Which is something he never would allow you to notice. That
He would do it
that
to
he was
me.
a mark.
He would do it to me.
Well, he'd never do it like in the general public. He would never show that he was truly a mark.
So at this time, this is the one thing I specifically remember. At this time, Colt Cabana and Marty DeRosa were doing unboxing videos all the
Oh, yeah.
time,
Yeah.
where they would like get stuff in the mail and they would unbox them.
Yeah.
And it was filmed at like this counter in Colt's apartment, and he was like, "I got to take a picture right here." He's like, "This is where," and I think Marty DeRosa used to call them like cardboard daddies, like the cardboard daddies that want to see them unbox their cardboard boxes. He's like, this is where the cardboard daddies want to be. And he made me take a picture of him at Colt's fucking, and he acted like he was unboxing something. And like,
Hey, you got any mail?
Is there anything I can open for you while I'm here?
Exactly.
I don't remember what the very next podcast was after that, but if you listen, it is Biggins just still talking about how that was probably the fewest words he would ever speak on a podcast because he was just looking at everything else inside of
oh yeah,
Colt's
he was
studio.
mesmerized.
It was episode 22 was my very first one.
Wow.
As the moderator.
Sorry, everyone.
We only made it 21 with with the GM, huh?
And some of those I think a couple of those were already
Master
banked.
Criminal?
There were like 2 Grado episodes in there that were already
Kratos
banked.
were
and
legends. Those ones were legendary.
Yeah, they were possible to understand, but they were great.
Well, I remember taping Grado at that
in there.
studio.
Yeah.
Was he not there?
No, you taped it there. I was not a part of it, but they were already in the bank. So like we didn't record for a little bit, you guys, and then
Because we had to learn. We had to
you had
figure
to
out how to do it.
But you at least had
Yeah, a
that
couple on
one
ice, right?
sitting there. There was only 1 week off in between because you had the Grado one sitting there still. So you were able to release a second Grado podcast, and that filled time. And then we recorded, and then you went on the road. Colt Cabana and
Well,
DJZ episode as well.
That's how we learned how to do it. I just said, Cabana, what do you have? What do I need to buy? And he showed us everything that he had, and we bought the exact same setup.
Yeah,
And
that was.
then I seriously just watched YouTube videos on how to work because I know nothing about technology at all.
Judging by the condition of these microphone covers, I think they're still the ones you bought.
They are.
years ago.
They are. Yeah. There was one extra one in the bag.
Well, they've been
so-
in my trunk for 7 months, and apparently something spilled on them. They were all wet when we pulled them out of the bag.
I blame Brickster.
Chandler Biggins on that episode. when
200.
you were explaining that, and you say, "Oh, we did a whole bunch of research on this," and then Biggins chimes in and goes, "And by research, we said, Cole Cabana, what do you use? Amazon Prime."
Yeah, he just Amazon Primed everything, and we got the stuff in 2 days, and then Biggins, I think at training, he was like, "Here you go, figure it out."
Yeah, so the studio for episode 22 was a little office at Cal's.
Nice.
At
I
Cal
remember that.
College.
I'm like, wow. That was
Oh,
probably
wow,
right when I
yeah.
started. That was probably right when I started. I'm like,
Cal
wow.
Corral's the
I'm
school.
like seeing you
when we
guys
had to
set
school
up.
there for a little bit.
I don't even know where that is.
It's gone now.
It's gone now, yeah.
He
Brook Park, yeah.
Oh, the MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was sweet. But I
He-
remember that
It's like a
first that
business
front
park.
room. I remember I would see you guys setting up, and I was like first starting training.
Oh no,
I was like,
I was there once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was, and he was getting ready to move at the time, so we knew we weren't going to be staying there, but we didn't have.
Yeah, he merged his business with Old School Iron.
Yeah.
So we recorded a couple episodes there, and then eventually he was onto the John Thorne.
Cal
studio
Corral, I
apartment.
believe, now he is a striking trainer at the Strong Style MMA gym.
Going backwards a little bit, Josh Bishop did not appear on an episode, but was mentioned for the very first time on the Teddy Hart episode
Uncle Teddy.
as Josh number 2.
Uncle Teddy.
To,
Who's Josh number 1?
bro,
Oh, Sing. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. They don't show movies anymore, so I forgot
yeah,
about
Josh.
it. Love you, Josh Sing.
When I first started,
I don't think he's listening.
when I
Just
first
in
started,
case, covered my bases.
Biggins would just have me do Sing's offense because originally I was going to be just the new Josh Sing and off the DCR program, so I just rip 450s all the time at Cal's.
So we had the
Just be
Teddy,
hit.
true or false? True or false? You still got a 450 in the tank.
Oh, I got a few 450s in the back pocket, saving them for a rainy day.
the Teddy Hart
45s
episode.
maybe. I don't know about any 450s.
The Teddy Hart episode was one of those first early ones that really made fans quickly like spread the news of the AIW podcast because everything that you guys were talking about
Legend.
was so ridiculous. To Josh being
I should have gone.
almost groomed.
I should have gone.
18-year-old. One of the lines I loved was Teddy Hart wanting you to use his ID.
At the strip club.
He just tussled my hair and said we're good to go.
He said, "It looks just like me."
You're going to be Teddy Hart's young boy?
No.
Yeah, oh yeah, he wanted them to move him
He
there.
wanted me to move with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had a great we had a great talk.
You think he's got
GI Friday?
You think he's got an extra bunk in that county jail he's in right now?
Oh, come on, man. It's not. Come on. Don't kick him while he's down, Thorne.
I'll kick him.
That's what Thorne does with those pointy
Yeah.
boots he just got.
No, it's
And then there was the whole great debate, which riled Chandler up about whether Teddy Hart had really been
it was
injured or
real.
not.
I would say it was real.
I will say that.
Riling Chandler up was one of the easiest things
Oh
in
my
the world.
God.
So, yeah.
So Teddy infamously was known for pulling that trick, but I will say that here's a little name drop. I was at dinner with Tyson Kidd and Kurt Hawkins when WWE was in town, and Tyson Kidd brought it up to me, and he did say that to his knowledge, Teddy actually did, for the first time ever, injure his ankle, and that was a real deal.
I thought we had visual confirmation. Wasn't it? It's like,
Oh, it was-
I just wanted to chime in
Yeah,
with
but-
what Biggins was saying at the beginning about the Twitter and the stories.
Yeah.
I remember listening to this podcast, and then I saw a Twitter picture of the ankle.
Yeah, Thorne took the
Yeah,
You
picture.
know what I mean?
huge.
So it's like cool to like what Biggins was saying. My
Because
bad.
Thorne sent it. I mean, if you go back and listen to the episode, it's hilarious because Thorne sends the message to Biggins, and Biggins is sitting there still talking about how he must have gotten special effects makeup to make his ankle look bruised and swollen.
that's something. It's going to go to all that trouble.
And Thorne said that they had a 9-day argument over Teddy Hart.
Oh yeah, we were arguing. I said, I don't know, man.
believe that.
I think it's legit, man. I don't know. And he wouldn't let it go.
The next fan episode that people really enjoyed was Laredo Kid going to Build-A-Bear, and
He's lost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lost
it-
Where's he at?
at Tequila Jack's.
Did he also go to, was that they also
He was always
Caesars?
missing.
Always missing. Yeah, he didn't go. That wasn't Little Caesars that day. Yeah, he went to a pizza spot.
Isn't it Adam Cole? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, it was Adam.
Kid's
Yeah,
Adam Cole, right?
yeah, he's in that. That's why he's been missing it.
That was one of the
That's
best
what I
things.
thought.
One of the best things I've heard Aaron Bauer
Oh, yeah.
ever say.
It was great.
on commentary.
Yeah.
You're telling me Laredo Kid was Adam Cole all along?
But there was not just the Laredo Kid, but there was another weird story that came out of that day of another popular podcast member from AIW, but he's not here because we don't know what
He's Adam Cole
we don't know
too.
what condition he's in. But here's this.
Anyways, we hear this alarm going off, and we're like, is somebody breaking into a car or something? And it was in the back where the workers park their cars, and it is just going on and on and on, sirens and sirens. We discovered that he didn't even know he had this, but it's an anti-theft alarm that almost every car has, that if you shake a car so violently, it goes off. It's not a car alarm per se, but...
Do you think that may be also like an earthquake alarm
yeah,
of some
probably.
sort?
Like it would go off in an earthquake. I'm assuming. I don't know anything about cars. This is what I was told by a mechanic on site.
M&R Auto Body.
It's a mechanic on site.
There's
mean,
a
hey-
mechanic at the show, and he explained this to me.
Another good job if you're a student is to be a mechanic, because myself and Chandler Biggins don't know anything about cars.
We once had Porsche Perez once had to fix our radiator fluid.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about that shit.
Oh, it's the rad fluid.
So what you're saying is that car was shaking tremendously, and the alarm went on.
And he didn't stop. He was just railing away like a freight train. Pardon the pun, man scout. But the freight train is coming down the track, and the alarm is going off, and it doesn't stop because he doesn't think it's his car. He thinks another car in the parking lot is.
So what he's referencing there is a certain AIW member was getting it on in their car.
Having relations.
Having relations in the worker parking lot.
Carnal knowledge in the parking lot.
And the car alarm went off, and nobody knew what.
Tequila Jacks.
And he just kept
What a
going.
venue.
It was,
What happens? What happens at? What's up? What
We were
what did it rename?
so two things before we move on to the next thing.
Who knows what it's called now?
Sonny.
Two things. One, Laredo Kid.
hit that
Right
paroxysm.
before COVID hit, Laredo Kid was getting locked in to make a big return to all the upcoming AIW dates.
that's true, yeah.
Unfortunate circumstance. Well, he was going to come back, and then he signed on to do some weird reality show.
Yes.
Mexican Ninja Warrior. Mexican Ninja Warrior.
Or something like that. I don't know. And then
Forget it. I'm not going to say it. It's 2020.
and also Tequila Jacks was under new ownership. I forget what the fuck it was called, but whoever the new owners were, they were heavily courting AIW to make a return to the Mentor on the Lake area.
You tried to talk me into buying Tequila Jacks.
You should
You wanted to
have.
buy a bar, didn't you?
I thought about
They
it.
probably still got the Halloween decorations up, so you're probably good for this
as long
season.
as I can keep that super friendly staff, then we'll be all right. Sonny.
That was in that same episode. Chandler Biggins described them as being the 90-minute appetizer venue or something.
Dude,
he was hot about that.
They make Knacks look like the greatest staff in the world.
Yeah, and
Dude, you should buy Class.
Oh God, no. Absolutely not.
then the next big one after that, we talk about the Double Dare Tag Team Tournament. The three of us all had basically shit days going into it, and one favorite line, because John Thorne, you got broken up with leading into the Double Dare tournament.
Whoa.
But Biggins,
Cutting me deep, bro.
Biggins goes, oh, yeah. I mean, I've been with Thorne through, I don't know, how many girlfriends now? Hundreds, I think.
Probably accurate.
I had lost my job the day of, I think, and then I think Biggins had
It's a cursed weekend.
passed away or something in his family.
I hung
Yeah,
out with my boys, the Headhunters, all day.
and that Josh Bishop is a great segue.
That's when I met. Yo, never mind.
Hey, John, good morning. This is Headhunter 2, Manny. Hey, when you get a chance, could you hit me up, man? I would like to talk to you.
Sheesh.
Is that the initial message when you found out eventually Headhunter 1 was in prison?
Yeah. Well, not prison, jail.
Oh, jail. Well, it's
Jail.
the same thing. I mean,
That was in
a couple
Headhunter.
more guards, I guess, in prison. I don't know.
Headhunter 2, Manning let John Thorne know that he was a professional. And that was the Double Dare tournament was a 2-part episode.
They came out of the airport painted up, ready to rock.
Did they?
It was fucking so weird. Because remember they were late to the show because the show already
Ironic, they
started.
weren't ready when
Yeah.
their music played, but they were ready when they came out of the airport.
How'd they get through TSA?
No, they painted up in the airport. They told me to wait or whatever, and they were going to come out because the show already started, so they got moved to the main event, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And they came out in their full gear and everything. They just had towels over their head to, like, protect from the fucking paint, dude. And they just came out. I was like, holy fuck, what the fuck is this shit? And
Their
then-
music's playing. One's going to the bathroom. One's ripping a heater.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guys, your music's on. He just waves to me as he's going into the bathroom.
And then the next day we were at a or at a Japanese buffet for like 3.5 hours. It was
Fuji, right? Fuji. In Pharma Heights or Seven Hills or something. By that Planet Fitness.
No! You get flour!
They knew. They're like, hey, we need someone to take us to Fuji Buffet. We found Fuji Buffet. Like, they looked it up. I guess they're big on Yelp or something because they knew where they wanted to go.
People, I mean, that was another episode in that first year, I think it was still, of episodes that really made the AIW podcast popular because people were like, what the fuck is this Headhunter deal? And we're talking about them, what they thought Nax was a part of their pay. Didn't we have to pay the bill?
Oh, yeah, because they thought they were there for a signing. They thought they were there for a autograph signing, so they expected free food for their appearance.
Yeah.
I also think that Time and Axe might have been the first time Thorne dumped the Sandman beard down my face.
Quite possibly.
That's very possible. Yeah, it was a time. That was, I don't know. That whole episode was just ridiculous. Yeah, ripping heaters in the locker room and everything. And
I might have to bring them back.
He got their gear.
Guys, not got nothing to wear.
yeah,
What is the guy going to wear?
nothing to wear now.
John's Big Purchase. Check it out on Patreon.
Hashtag Patreon.
And the paywall.
More AIW trivia. The very first AMA question. Favorite sandwich from Melt.
That was a question?
That was the question. They want to know what the favorite sandwich for Yumi and Biggins would be at Melt.
Parma, Italy, brother. I think that's
I
probably
believe
what I
that's
want.
what you said. Yeah.
Not anymore, though. They changed it.
Isn't it like
Oh.
a dude? It's like the meatball or
The dude abides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
So they changed it because now that they have chicken tenders, now instead of doing a breaded chicken breast,
Yeah.
they just put 2 chicken fingers on the chicken sandwiches, and I don't think
I
that's
don't
good.
like loose chicken tenders
Yeah.
on my chicken.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I don't-
Canes, that shit. Get that shit out of here.
I don't like
I was
that.
going to go the other
No, that Cane's
yesterday.
sandwich. It's like just those loose
I
tenders,
was
and
gonna
you
go to Gage
always one
yesterday.
falls
I
out.
walked. I was on my walk, and I went there. Oh, no, restaurant's closed. You got to go through drive-through.
Come
I was
on,
like,
dude. We're in a
fuck, man.
pandemic, dude. Should've
Yeah,
known.
Biggins went down the list of the specials of the month. Those were his
I've only
favorites
been to
at
Melt once,
Melt.
and I had the
Really?
one time we had it was when they had the Gremlins thing, and I had.
You want to
the,
go after this?
Like it was some kind of chicken sandwich on a waffle or something.
You want to
like
go
that.
after this, dude?
Biggins' favorite?
Really?
Biggins used to always want to do business talks at either a diner, so we can do chicken noodle soup, or Melt, because he loved going to Melt. And his favorite sandwich, I don't even have to listen. His favorite Melt special monthly sandwich was the Charge It to the Underhills. It was a country fried steak sandwich. It was only available for 2 days. He talked about that until the day he died. Like, I mean, that was his favorite sandwich. Bring it back, Melt. Get on the
back.
Twitter. Tell him to bring back the Charge It to the Underhills sandwich.
Charge it to Biggins.
Yeah. As we carry on in AIW podcast folklore, we go to episode 33. And
Jeez, we're only on 33. We're going to be here for a while.
yeah. But
Step it up. You better.
Better skip around, brother.
I got bets
Well,
to make.
yes, sir.
This was the birth of AIW After Party podcast stories. And the
Might
birth
wanna
of
just skip right over this one.
Yeah.
the birth of Kenny Wang at Mayhalls.
I heard he
Missing
moved
person.
away.
Yeah, he's
He
a
moved
missing person.
Yeah, he lives like
in Texas or something.
Yeah, I thought Florida or
the
something.
Dugans
maybe,
were
but-
talking
yeah,
about him.
Yeah,
in
that's what they told me
Indianapolis.
too. They were telling me that in Indianapolis. Yeah, he rolled down there, but John Thorne going crazy, being drunk, and starts sabooing people with chairs.
Well, I had a rough day that day. I went to my uncle's funeral that day.
Yes.
Was that at Mahal's?
Yes.
Yeah. Eddie Kingston and Swoggle were riling you up. That was the first time.
Per usual.
You want to
First time we
talk
talked-
about it, or you want to fucking be about it?
There it
You're gonna
is.
jump out this fucking window or not? And then you
was
started
the big-
Sabu and Kaplan.
That was the big quote. The whole story
Was
was
that the one when Kenny Wang ate all the ginger?
no. That was new Kenny
too,
Wang.
trying to
Oh.
That's
prove
Kenny
himself.
too.
Yeah.
All right.
New Kenny.
No, this
Adam
was,
Wollins.
this
Ranger
was-
Wollins.
we were upstairs and we were watching. Was it a Rousey fight?
Yeah, Rousey's last UFC fight.
Her last UFC fight.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
she got
on a
smoked.
big screen they had for us upstairs.
But not as smoke as Eddie Kingston would get if he ever crossed the shooters again.
Okay.
Always working.
Always. But yeah, so and then Thorne.
Kenny Wang was saying something about how he wanted to jump out the window.
He
and
said that he could
For
land
hours.
because there was like an overhang.
oh yeah, he said he could do it safely, and I said do it.
This was up like a second level.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
the bar level, but a
Yeah,
level
probably
above
like
that.
a-
It's like a private apartment upstairs.
Oh, okay.
probably like a 20 or 30
Glenn
foot
Moore
drop.
lived there?
And yeah, he was saying that he could do it safely, and he kept saying it. And we thought Thorne was asleep the entire time. But then Thorne just wakes up and screams, "You're gonna talk about it? You're gonna be about it." Pulls the suspenders off that he had.
Because I had a suit on.
Oh, the straps came down.
Straps
Straps
I had a
down.
suit on. Because I had a suit on. I was at a funeral.
Straps are down.
Throws chairs at
By this
me.
time, it's 2 a.m. I still got the suit on.
Did he jump out the window?
No, he was fucking talking about it. He didn't be
So he
about
was
it.
not about it.
Thorne was angry.
He wasn't about it.
Thorne was angry that he wasn't about it. So Thorne just started throwing chairs at people. Some lady was sleeping in a bedroom up there that we didn't know existed. Came out, yelled at us.
Jesus.
And tried to F5 weird body on the main floor once we moved down
I
there.
gave him an airplane spin. There's,
Yeah.
there's a photo of that somewhere.
Not F5 weird body.
No,
I
I
gave him an Olympic slam. Too.
yeah, I had him in
Yeah.
the I had him in the airplane spin in the bar.
Almost hit his head on a pillar.
There's a photo of that somewhere.
Yes, there is. It was thus
Yeah.
setting the tone for after party
Clearly, yes.
podcasts.
Mahal's was just no rules.
It
No.
really,
It quickly became rules though. Once
Yeah,
it,
which
we
sucked.
lost our connect there.
Yeah, which sucked.
yeah, we started getting yelled
All
at.
mad at me because I was trying to steal a bicycle from out front.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
Yeah, that
like,
place gets weird.
Fucking rules.
Like at night. That place got really weird.
no rules. Remember that
There's
time
a lot of
Swoggle
strange
smashed
people in
that
there.
glass when he fucking headbutted that?
He headbutted to go into the bowling area.
That glass because he wanted to bowl and they wouldn't let him because it was like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
He headbutted the
Yeah,
glass.
Yeah.
Biggins was screaming at him.
There was a guy like vacuuming the rug up there.
I
Josh,
remember Swoggle. I believe it was Swoggle. He came down with a bowling ball and started rolling them into the bar.
Yeah, because he was pissed off.
He was pissed 'cause he couldn't
they
bowl.
closed the bowling alley, so then he went to the room where the bowling balls were and he started grabbing them. And
He
fucking
started whipping them
throwing
in. He started whipping them into the bar of people.
I had to take them from him because he was trying to. He decided a good idea would be to put one in a toilet.
allegedly.
No. So he never did. But then like a month.
Somebody did.
Yeah, that was like a month later when we were back there, but he wasn't on the show. There ended up being a bowling
So what I'm
ball there.
gathering from this is it's all Mahal's fault.
Yeah,
Because what you
honestly.
just said was when we were back there. They could have said never come back, but they didn't. So I blame Mahal's.
It's because they put those restrictions on us. And okay, so
We can't be chained.
yeah, dude, listen. If someone says don't do this, you're gonna want to fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe not.
Like
me.
if I said-
I'm a bad example. I've kind of outgrown that.
It was Mahal's was also
Especially
responsible.
if, Duke, when you got a few fucking Millers in you and you're hitting that fucking chest pump, you know no one can tell you can't fucking do anything.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'll sign off on
Yeah.
Mahal's after partying also responsible for then eventually we end up with the podcast Gringo Loco being dead for 7 minutes.
that. Oh, yeah.
Well, Gringo Loco got arrested, and he had to use a cop's phone on Facebook chat to get us to go get him. I think he got arrested for indecent exposure because he's pissing outside.
They're probably taking a piss outside, yeah.
Remember we were in fucking New Orleans. It was me, you, and Gringo. And
How's his theme song go?
he went into the bathroom and we got the DJ to play his theme song. And when he came out, he put the shades on. He did his whole entrance into the bar. It was so fucking funny.
Bourbon Street.
We also had DJ Z DJ'd at Mahal's
Oh, yeah.
after party and DJ Gare Bear.
Oh yeah, Gary. He got on the ones and twos.
Got on the ones and twos.
Like DJ Ran on Nitro at the end.
We had there were some
Who
good.
was that giant black dude? That was
Swole.
Yeah, Swole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Mahal's really set the tone for the after for the after party template that we were to sell for more money down the line.
The problem with Mahal's was when we go to Nax.
Yeah, it wasn't us.
Or
It was
when
the
we
problem
go
with
to other places, it's pretty much the place is dead.
Yeah.
And then we get there, and it's everybody that we know is there, and maybe like 2 townies,
Sure.
and then
Yeah.
they leave because they're just like overwhelmed. Mahal's was all about their crowd,
The regulars.
their normal crowd that they get, and they just were not thrilled that we were there.
Yeah.
Still got paid though.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
They did.
That's a hell of a dramatic pause right there.
They did eventually. They give us
I had
like
a burp coming up.
Still got all paid.
These White Claws are they're a little rough go down this early in the afternoon.
Lemon? Who drinks lemon?
I don't
Early
know.
Monday
I got a
morning,
lemon
drinking
white-
A couple claws.
I got a lemon white
What
claw.
up on a
Let's go.
Monday? Coffee talk, Daddy.
I mean, last time we were really.
It's my last time drinking. I got to get ready in case I gotta strap the boots on at the collective.
Zip them up.
Zip them up, you mean?
You want me to do double duty, Thorne? After I smoke Justice, smoke you in the dog collar after?
Oh, I might leave the collective as the absolute champ, brother.
Okay.
Why this would be skipping around. White Claws did lead to a fun series of AIW podcasts.
On the 4th of July,
The cookout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was a
I
rough
missed that
one.
one.
Eyes closed.
Dr. Dan.
Patreon casts.
Eyes
A lot of
closed.
one-on-ones.
Yeah.
We're getting back in the Patreon game now that it's more comfortable to get people together.
New show, Shoot with the Shooters.
It's coming soon.
I did not download the clip. That's one that I lost. But John Thorne getting angry at all the young kids for their screaming. Drunk Dr. Dan was a big
It was
problem.
a little bit too much.
At the-
yeah.
Drunk cookout.
Drunk Doctor.
His 3 hairs were all akimbo on his head. Yeah, it was terrible.
You said Drunk Dr. Dan was a big problem. Drunk Dr. Dan is always a problem. Every time he's drunk, he's a problem.
Listen, this
When he's not drunk, he's pretty helpful.
When he gets,
you get a couple Tito's in him, and he just
he starts giving you the fucking, he starts giving you the 2 hands up, you know.
I was about to say the
Girls night,
posters.
the posters.
The
Like,
posters at Girls Night Out.
Oh yeah, he was all mad because he allegedly maybe thought he got a girl pregnant, and she arrived with.
oh yes, that's
She,
right.
she,
Can we be talking about this?
this is a while back, and she arrived with a former AIW Tag Team Champion that was no longer in the company. Dr. Dan was a little jealous. Kept saying, kept trying to sell him a Girls Night Out autograph poster because
Off air, I'm going to need details.
to-
I don't remember this.
Dr. Dan was trying to
I remember the pregnancy part, but I don't remember who it was.
Dr. Dan was trying to assert dominance over this former AIW Tag Team Champion to let him know he still worked for the company, and he was in the crowd. And by letting him know he worked for the company, he was trying to sell him an autograph poster.
He also just got blackout drunk.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's very jealous.
that was the first time Dr.
Pre-relationship Dan, you know.
First time he ever
Wild.
slapped me was that day. Yeah,
VCR slap.
yeah.
There are no
Just
rules.
just walked up to me.
Is that the 4th rule?
Yeah,
If the first don't work, I slap you in the face.
yeah. Just walked right up to me, just slapped me for no reason. I mean, we also had a worldwide drunk podcast that will forever live in infamy.
Oh, the fucking shitty gas station vodka at the beach all day.
That was episode 52.
That was at my old apartment.
1 year.
That was at my old apartment.
That was episode 52.
Wow.
1 year of podcasting.
That's the 1 year. That's the 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary. Yeah.
That was a day. And then the world, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go drive home, and I was like, what?
That was and you hear Weird Body in the background just screaming at him.
I love that. Like,
I was actually there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that.
that's my favorite thing.
beach day was at his place, wasn't
No, it was at my place.
It is-
It was my
It was
apartment.
right when he was getting ready to move, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And my favorite thing about the Weird World dynamic is how Weird Body, who is at least 10 years younger, always acts as if he is like the responsible adult. And like, come on, man. Come on, dude.
He's the Tim White to Worldwide's Andre the Giant.
Worldwide says multiple things that he shouldn't, and you just hear Weird Body in the background. You can't say that, dude. It just goes off. Still to this day, a favorite episode of people was when you and Biggins and I read emails.
Oh, brother. That is that one got us a lot of heat ski. I got a couple lawsuit threats on that one.
I I have.
I hope you got some bleeps prepared.
I have a clip with name redacted, so every time this clip goes silent, it's because a name is said that, well, we can't air. But this
I might have took this one. Down. Oh, I guess I didn't because you got the clips.
yeah, no man, this is up there. This is still up. But this is
episode is it? I'm gonna go listen.
this is from the episode entitled "Texas Oil Tycoon."
No,
Episode 38. We go backwards again.
We're going backwards.
We go backwards. Well, for good reason here. Here's Biggins reading this email of someone inquiring about a wrestler.
Biggins went through and found every shitty email we ever got.
Having financial problems, we never respond to these investors.
Well, you never respond to the investment opportunities.
No, and this is a big one.
We should be Shark Tanking these motherfuckers.
Absolute intense wrestling. Please give me a call. My name is Mr. Sibler. Tell her we could become friends, and I could give her the following: millions, billions, and trillions of dollars. I have Texas Oil City Development Properties. My cell phone number is B. What is cell number?
You still got
I
that
can
number?
prove to you and her that all this money will be, and I can show when she meets me in person in Miami, Florida. I could give her deeds, contracts, proof I own and control all these Texas businesses.
Wow,
Texas Oil
That's like the email I got from my cousin who's a Nigerian prince that just died.
I also have city development properties. I also have proof from a Swiss banker. His name is Mr. Corner.
Claudio?
From a UBS bank in Switzerland. He misspelled it horribly.
Well, I think that's how they spell it with the bank. I don't know. Continue.
That his bank is willing to give me $50 million in an offshore account in my name. I will then put $50 million in name when she agrees to become friends and meets me in Miami, Florida.
Million.
Do you have any video of being knocked out by a fat female wrestler? Do you have any video footage of with blood all over her face? I would like to watch this. Also,
This is making me feel really good about sending her to Miami now.
yeah, he just wants to be friends. Also, do you have ever wrestling male wrestlers? Also, can I have access to watch all of Amber Van Buren's videos?
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. I've never heard of this girl. She's one of the Van Burens, though, the president.
The Van Buren boys.
Especially the one where Amber is knocked out cold by Vanessa Craven, which I think he means Vanessa Craven, but
He's got a real fetish.
Shout out to Vanessa Craven. I love her.
He really likes his women knocked out.
yeah. Also, do you have any video footage of a female wrestler named Miss Thatcher?
That was pretty horned up.
Who likes their women knocked out? This guy or Thorne? I couldn't tell.
Whoa, come on.
Oh, sorry.
You still got that number? I'll give him a call.
The Texas Oil Tycoon's number?
It's in Chandler's email account. I have access to all of Chandler's old emails.
Mr. Sizzler or Sibbler or whatever.
Mr. Sibler.
These were emails.
He's probably on
Sure,
LinkedIn.
half the stuff in Texas has his name on it. Right.
Emails and Facebook messages that AIW has received over the years.
Ooh, there's one on there. There's one on there I wish we would open. I don't know if we could talk about it. Rest in peace.
Oh,
Grandmaster Sexy.
Well, that's a different one. I still never opened up that Brian Christopher.
Oh,
message
yeah,
where
yeah.
he was trying to come in for a full-time run. Still my unopened
Rest in peace.
messages.
But that podcast got us into a lot of trouble for that message in particular because people weren't happy with us. Lawsuits.
Like you wrote it. I mean,
Yeah,
it goes
look,
pretty horned up.
I got a couple C&D threats on that one.
Sibbler.
Yep.
Got a couple got a couple legal threats in the text messages after that one aired.
And there's also, we go into Chandler's kind of final episodes. A lot of it, we had a Shayna Baszler sit down, and then of course the sit down with Tom Dunn when Tom Dunn learns for the very first time that Biggins had a sock full of quarters because he thought Tom
was
Dunn was
there.
going to murder him.
That was at a indie that no longer exists, CWE from the Youngstown area. Biggins Biggins and Tom Dunn, I know they get into it on that episode, and if you haven't listened to it, I suggest you go back. But they had like a 5 or 10 year feud. I don't know how long, but it was a long feud, and they were at each other's throats on various message boards and social media platforms at the time. And Biggins thought that they were gonna eventually throw down. And Biggins would always say that he was only ever in one fight ever in his life, in like the 8th grade or something, and he knocked the guy out and flipped him over a table or something. And he didn't know what Tom Dunn was going to do, so he literally had a sock full of quarters in his pocket. And I'll give Biggins had balls. Biggins wouldn't just talk shit from a distance.
Yeah,
he talked shit right to the faces.
Because I think he thought he always had back. I think.
Maybe, I don't know, but that's episode 58 is the Tom Dunn one that Thorne was talking about. Yeah, that is his final one that we had recorded. I mean, a lot of people appreciate how transparent we were with that situation because we had multiple episodes giving people updates on his health and everything else, and we had talked about the funeral, and so
I will say I think, and I know that we've talked about this before, but I think that once he passed away, we did lose listenership because I think people did not want to continue on this journey knowing what happened. It was kind of like an out of sight, out of mind thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because our listenership was way higher.
Yeah,
it was. I mean, I would say 5 times more in those first 58 episodes than it is now. Although the episode in which we talk about everything that happened to him, that's the most listened to episode in AIW podcast history.
Wow. It was a surreal thing. That's one of the things that this podcast has conveyed over the years this whole time. We've had fun stuff, but we've always been open and honest with everything that we've gone through as a company, and it's
well, I think that the people that have stuck around for the whole journey, I think they appreciate that. Wrestling is built on lies. You know what I mean? The whole concept of pro wrestling is built on lies and manipulating the marks, and all that stuff. But you gotta. I think people appreciate that we give them the honest story. We don't give away everything that happens, but we tell people honestly if something goes wrong or something goes right or whatever, they get legitimate feedback on it on this podcast. And I think people do appreciate that we don't go out of their way to insult their intelligence.
Yeah.
And other than when we talk about the Duke, all that is 100%.
Oh, that's all accurate. Yeah.
All accurate.
Yeah.
There's no debate on that. But other topics, they could be up for debate if you don't talk about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot in wrestling that is left to the imagination. And I think people appreciate when we do dive a little deeper into stuff.
And there's one thing that's not going to be left to the imagination.
Oh, boy.
And that's that in 2021, at some fucking point, John Thorne, me and you are locking horns in a dog collar match.
Okay.
Wow.
I got a lot of people that want a lot of matches with me, and I'm sitting right between them both.
Dude,
Yuki,
you already bailed on ours. You already bailed on ours, but anyway,
we gotta get the.
Personally, I think.
Oh, I don't like the barge.
You do the.
that's cool.
You tell people stuff whenever else. I think it creates a very, very entitled fan base, and I think our fans are way too entitled to certain things that they shouldn't know about.
You think they get too much information?
I think they do.
Like what?
I'm not talking specifics, just in general.
The Duke did text me. He says I give away a little bit too much in the Discord chat.
Yeah.
That's personally that's what I think. But it's not my company, so what do I care? What do I care?
Well, you don't have to type those things in the Discord
Yeah,
chat.
Dookie.
I don't.
He said I do. He said
that you do.
He says I'm
Oh.
too transparent in the Discord chat.
Yeah.
No, I think you're just
you know
real.
what?
You're just extremely open.
There are,
I know, and there's something to be said for that, but I think it does create like quote unquote fans think they lose sight of the fact that they're fans.
Yeah, there are moments that I could agree with you on that. I could see that.
Like they expect to be told, oh, well, what, this booking decision or this whatever or this that or this that. And it's like, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Before we go too far, I'm going to play some.
Can't give away the whole recipe like a fucking stovetop fucking box, right?
Hey, man, stovetop's delicious.
Yeah. So 58 being Chandler's
Love stovetop.
last
I
episode.
think he gets all that money, dude. He just eats fucking TV dinners. Stovetop rice-a-roni.
Oh my god.
The San Francisco treat.
He said, he just reminded me when he said rice-a-roni. One of my
I think it's disgusting, just for the record.
one of my favorite early on moments, being the moderator on the podcast, is you getting mad at Chandler because he used to call it macaronis.
Oh, macaronis and cheese?
Macaroni and cheese sucks.
No, but Chandler would say macaronis.
I like Kraft macaroni
plural.
and cheese, but
Ew.
Biggins plural, like he
Yeah, yeah.
pluraled macaronis and cheese.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more than one.
Right,
Yeah.
that was his argument. Yeah. But you're like, no, it's the type of noodle. It's
I saw-
macaroni noodles.
I saw
The
a
noodles are
tweet or
plural.
something. I don't know where I saw it the other day, but it was like talking about like road trip eating or something. I don't know what I saw about it, but Biggins and I probably discussed it in one of those first 58 episodes. But I hated when Biggins and I would go on a road trip because he would always get a hard-boiled egg from the gas station.
Oh my god. What?
And like that, like lots of foods gross me out, as I discuss a lot on this podcast. But he would just be eating a fucking hard-boiled egg like it was an ice cream cone, just like driving one elbow out the window, just taking a rip off the fucking hard-boiled egg, and like hard-boiled eggs do not smell good.
Yeah.
No.
And like it's like you could get any snack in the world, and you're getting the gas station hard-boiled egg. And he would do that literally every single road trip we ever went on in history of knowing each other. He would get a hard-boiled egg.
Would you have preferred that he had breaded mushrums? The Buddy
It
Landell,
wouldn't have smelled as
the
bad.
Buddy Landell favorite.
Shout out to Landell. Shout out to Landell. Lemon drops for Landell.
Speaking of that, where we did the lemon drops for lunch with Buddy Landell, Brooklyn Rockneys closed down. R.I.P. man.
Oh,
Legendary
man.
spot.
I ate there once.
I always thought it was my friends.
No. So
My Friends
he
is
got
the
breaded,
spot.
He got the breaded mushrooms at My Friends.
You can't get lemon drops at my friend.
Hey,
No,
there's
they sell alcohol there.
Yeah, there's some guys back there.
Yeah, I was there.
If you're on the left
Is it
side.
really?
Dude, I was there the other night and this dude
What a
was
terrible
fucking.
idea for a 24-hour diner. To
No,
sell alcohol.
no.
Sell them all.
Yeah. I was there the other night and this dude was like, I need some wine. Like, I need some wine. They're like,
Yeah, I think they just
I was-
maybe beer and wine or something.
No, I was there like, I don't know, probably like fucking 10 or whatever the fuck shit's closed down, like 11 o'clock or whatever. And they're like, oh, we can't sell it to you after. And this dude was fucking weird and goes, I need wine. I need some red wine. And so he was like fucking slamming the table. It's like, dude, chill.
Was it
fuck.
you?
No.
Oh.
No. This dude was, I'm
It was
just,
intense,
I'm
yeah.
just cool in there getting a mile high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
When
got you. The Rip
but
City
when-
signature.
when Buddy Landell did the lemon drops, it was at lunch at Rockneys.
Okay.
Me, Biggins, Buddy Landell, and Drew Cordero of Beyond Wrestling.
Buddy Landell was quite a character.
Dude, I think about that a lot and how like that time in my life I did not appreciate that like Buddy Landell was sleeping at my house. Like, like it's just one of those things where like I didn't really know that much about him like at that time frame in my life, and now later on as you dive deeper into wrestling, it's like and he also produced when we were doing Intense TV.
Yeah.
He produced the whole episode.
That's
down there.
awesome.
He
And
gave,
That
he
is
gave
awesome.
me and another guy the most racist promo ever to say. And it's like, all right, sure.
And Biggins and I always joked before he died that we were gonna bring him in for a jail-it just because we had a couple really good days with him, because JT brought him in twice, I think, two or three times, and every time JT would just leave him for us to babysit him,
Yeah.
and I think back on that though, and I would go, man, it's so fucking weird that we've gotten drunk with Buddy Landell before.
Lemon drops, baby.
Before we go into further episodes, there's just some fun Biggins sound bites that I picked out, including one of my favorite stories that Biggins ever told, which was the Nightmare Before Christmas, ends this. But here we go.
That's JAKPrince.com. This is owner 2, Chandler. Now, Taylor, Michigan, I don't want to, bury it too bad, but it was Taylor, Tucky. I think the girls tipped the scales very high. There was a lot of barbed wire arm tattoos, and there's a lot of sharing of wallet photos of children. Teddy Hart, you guys are falling for it. He's a performance artist. This is
he's a performance artist. This is
like when Shia LaBeouf or whatever watches all his movies in an elevator. You think fucking Tom Hanks was dreaming about on that island for 5 years?
Tom Hanks, probably Angelo's Pizza.
Angelo's Pizza, '1.
He loves it.
#1. Oh, you went right your shit there, dude.
You did.
#1, Angelo's Pizza make you humble. April showers bring like 2 feet of snow in one day. It was an out of nowhere.
As the old adage goes.
The old saying goes.
So he wrestled in a blue singlet. Well, he didn't think to change, so he just put his street clothes on over his singlet. So he gets in the ring, and Thorne and Thribbly are brawling in the crowd. All of a sudden, he gets in the ring and starts calling spots to Moonshine McGee.
Who is not a wrestler.
Who's not a wrestler and doesn't understand, because to him, wrestling's just like, oh, it's a good time, and he's completely drunk. So he calls a shoot DDT and grabs him and DDTs him, giving Moonshine McGee a concussion while he's already covered in blood from getting beat with a kendo stick.
And drunk.
Then here comes the money shot. So this business partner starts hitting the ropes and running the ropes like the Ultimate Warrior, and then decides that
while there's a riot going on.
Yeah, there's a riot going on. And the hard cam footage of this is on the DVD. It's hilarious. He thinks he's going to help the riot situation by stripping naked and showing his penis to the crowd.
Police officer.
A police officer. Nothing solves a riot like a penis.
Just dropping a dick out there.
Yeah, just putting a dick out in the open. So he takes all his clothes off, but he's so drunk that he doesn't know he has a singlet on. To him, in his mind, he's completely naked. So he's hitting the ropes doing pee-pee dances, and he's just grinding. He's like, hey, baby, look at this. And
he's helicoptering.
He thinks he's helicoptering his dick.
Yeah, he thinks his dick is out. It's not. It's in a singlet.
He's got his full wrestling gear on. He doesn't realize it.
So he is going mad. Oh, Moonshine McGee's laying on the ground moaning. Thorne and the Thribbly get back in the ring. They're working a match. Well, then all of a sudden, this guy shoots Moonshine McGee back in the ring. Thorne's on the top rope about to do a double stomp, and this guy starts pee-pee dancing between Thorne and the Thribbly. So Thorne is just standing on the top rope to come off of it, while this guy is standing between him and his opponent doing like a pelvic thrust.
He thinks that dick is out, dude. He thinks
he must have thought the whole crowd was impressed. So then him and Moonshine McGee is out cold basically. He picks him up and starts shooting him off the ropes, but then Moonshine McGee is so out of it by being drunk and concussed that Moonshine McGee hits the ropes and just crumbles into nothing. Well, this guy just starts putting the boots to him, and Thorne is just like, get the fuck out of the ring, man. So I come down and try to pull him out of the ring, and meanwhile, this is a Cleveland cop, and he could probably kill me. He grabs me and he goes, work with me, kid, and then just pops me in the face, but it was a work punch. But he pops me, and thank God it was a work punch or I'd be dead. But he brawled with me through the curtain into the bag. So he loads all his stuff into his bag. He's still in his singlet, so he thinks he's completely naked. Well, he starts to leave, and all his stuff is falling out. Well, Tyler Black is ready to go. He had been paid and everything. He walks up to Tyler Black and he goes, you are so handsome. I want to make love to you. And Tyler Black is
he's the most serious guy ever.
Yeah, he's a serious guy. He was just like, I got to go, guys. Thanks.
Wow. There's a big and supercut right there.
Yeah. Had to end it with his thanks.
There's probably a way more good stuff over
There
those
are
58
so many good
episodes.
things. Yeah. That was the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a Gauntlet for the Gold 3, but didn't work out that way.
I just remember recording that that episode and him telling that story, and I was in tears every time he kept saying "pee-pee dance," because like just the audio. That's one of those moments where just the audio doesn't do it justice, because Biggins was big on act outs.
Update: the person in question is now a chief of police outside of Cleveland in a town.
No way, really?
Yeah. That's what he told me after he told me he listened to these podcasts recently and was very upset with me.
Wow.
But he said he's now a chief of police in a small town somewhere near Youngstown, I think.
Oh.
Back on the force.
Well, how about that?
Good for him.
Well, the last sound clip that I have to play is another one that got really popular, and one of the things that people love about the AIW podcast over the years are John Thorne's bad days.
Well, brother, I had a lot that we haven't even talked about.
I know.
And your worst day is yet to come,
oh
Thorne.
boy. Whether
Where do you keep that dead horse that you continually beat, Josh?
carries it.
Yeah.
He's a large man. He's going to the gym for the second
Been
time
doing
today.
kettlebells while we were waiting to fucking press record.
Yeah.
Because he's not TV ready.
Still don't look TV ready though.
I know.
Oh boy. Lay off.
Fuck about TV.
Yep. Back off, pal.
Oh, all right.
Back off, pal.
You want to go to Applebee's?
certain someone that said they were mounting a comeback.
See how that goes.
But yeah, there have been a lot of instances.
187.
A lot of instances mentioned where you've had bad days, and whether it's going into a show or after a show. But not always do we get to really capture these moments on podcasts like we did this one.
Let me see the number. I'll call from my phone. He probably has you like, hey, don't answer.
You gotta
870.
come on, man.
Oh, so what was?
Wish we had the wife's name or phone number. Call her, Sabrina.
What?
Put it on speaker.
Put it on speaker, brother.
Dude, he's doing some weird fucking hacker shit with his phone.
Sid,
John,
what's up?
man, I just got back from the airport. They got a goddamn thing on my driver's license where it says I didn't pay a ticket, and I got it sitting here. I just now looked through my mail, and it ain't nothing but a fucking speeding ticket. And I guess now that fucking Donald Trump has got these fucking things on different states, they can't let me get through without a passport, and I didn't have my passport. I can't find that son of a bitch either.
That was, believe it or
Every
not,
state in the union, brother.
So you had a bad day.
that was Swoggle, I should say, and Eddie Kingston were on that one, and that was at my apartment. That was the day after Swoggle and I had a nice little comedy show.
It's your old spot.
Yeah, my old spot, and we were all hungover, and he was laying on his gym mat and had
I slept at your house.
Laying on his gym mat. You put the baby gate around the gym mat?
it was just a little gym mat that he used to sleep on, and if there were too many people, but Thorne and Eddie heard sleep on the couch.
That was a bad day for me.
It was
Turned out
it turned
to be
out
one of the
good.
most like I don't even know how to word it. It turned into be like one of the biggest promotional pieces for AIW ever, actually.
Yeah.
You know, but like that moment in time.
Oh, so that's
if I could have just crawled into a casket and just closed it, I would have.
and you could hear it. That episode, the three of us are just laughing at you.
Yeah,
You're
you
so depressed.
motherfuckers.
That, believe it or not, as we sit here, episode 200, that's episode 81.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like that was that long ago.
No, it
But
doesn't.
It's that far back.
I mean, it was a while ago because EC3 went to the WWE, not in the WWE. And
That's
back
true.
in Impact, like a lot has happened, but it
Full circle.
It does not feel. That's his final. That was his. That ends up being his final AIW appearance, at least, as of this recording. But
Yeah.
that was seriously like if there was like a hole in the ground, I would have just went in there and said, just put fucking dirt over me. Like honestly, like that's how I felt. Like I felt like I was letting the fans down. You know what I mean? And like I guess that really that is kind of a good way to end it, because that's really what the purpose of this podcast was to explain things. But at that moment, like, dude, I felt like that was it for me.
Well,
I thought that was it for AIW.
That's the last soundbite I have, but it's obviously there was many more
Well, Thorne,
podcasts.
if you want to make it up to the fans, I'd
How would
say
that
there's
be-
only
how would
one
that be
way.
the end of the company?
I'd say there's only one
People
way.
have canceled before, or
I'd
not
say
shown
you
up
lock
before,
that
or whatever.
dog collar back on one more time.
Well,
It's not like we hung the entire existence on Sid showing up.
yeah, but at that point we had really been coming through with meet and greets and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just felt like
He
not.
already had that rep. He already had that rep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People were like, "Oh my God, Sid's here."
Yeah.
I think it was because people were saying, "Oh, let me know when he cancels," or when he know, and so people were riding that train,
Well, I
and
just
then it
felt
turns out that he didn't show up.
But it's like right around the holidays we had a really big pre-sale, and I was really attributing that to Sid. You know, so I was like, "Fuck," you know, like this sucks.
Yeah, it was like the day before New Year's Eve, I think.
It was somewhere around there, but I was like,
It was
December
December
30th.
show. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was some that also started a run of Swoggle being
And it was-
obsessed with being on the podcast, by the way.
but it was like everything else was going good. Like I think it was like sunny and no snow out. Like
Yeah.
like a nice December.
Oh yeah,
day,
was it
like,
great? It was like 50 degrees
50
or something.
60
yeah.
degrees. Like everything that could go right for a show in December, except the fucking attraction showing up.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was going to be like, because I always think the worst. So it's always like, oh, well, all these people are going to be like, well, look, AIW fucking didn't deliver. AIW can't come through. You know, not going to AIW again. And, man, that was... I was so just, like, burnt that day. Like, I was just at my wit's end.
It was a short time later we get Swoggle Q&A where we for the first time we get to the heart of the matter.
To the heart of
There it is.
That happened. That's episode 88, and then of course we recap Day Drunk Swoggle later on.
Which he's very upset about. Very
Episode
upset.
102. So
He
if you wanna
brings that up
listen
once a week, that I quote, tried to destroy his career.
But he sleeps at your house all the time.
But he's very upset about it because I may have, allegedly, or maybe not, took out an ad in Oshkosh, Wisconsin for fans of WWE Hornswoggle, the Facebook page.
To listen to that episode.
And his dad might have listened to it.
Yeah.
And maybe some other extended family. And he's very upset.
He also did he and Eddie
I just
Kingston
thought it was a
appeared
harmless
multiple
rib.
times.
Yeah.
They appear multiple times together. He and Eddie. There's Hornswoggle and MJF. But speaking of meet and greets, that leads us to another great story that Wes Barkley was a part of. Episode 113, lunch with Big Papa Pump.
Oh yeah, and dinner. Scotty,
how many chicken breasts total?
Over the day,
Yeah.
we're in double digits at least. maybe 18 to 23 in there.
God.
What was the meal?
It was. Let me see if I still remember. Mashed potatoes.
Was this
I think,
Cracker
was one
Barrel?
on the side. Yeah, Cracker Barrel. 6 chicken breasts. Maybe some broccoli or a green bean, something like that. But I remember he said, "And the dumplings. Bring the dumplings out. I know they're ready." I was like, "Oh my god." So, yeah, Scotty. I hope he's doing all right. I know you had some health issues, so
He lost his Shoney's.
Yeah.
He did.
No, he didn't lose it. He actually responded on Twitter that he is rebranding it into a sports bar.
Love it. Love it. Hey, Scotty. Look,
You texted him. I thought about texting him.
Yeah.
And I didn't. You did.
I texted him when he had the problems at Impact. I reached out and just said, hey, Scott, it's Wes from Cleveland. I hope you're doing all right. He said, "Thanks, Wes. Means a lot. I appreciate it." I was like, yes, sir.
That's pretty cool.
So I'll go to that new sports bar any day of the week. Just let me know when it opens, Scotty, and I'll be there.
How about that?
That's the one thing that I'll say about AIW, which I think makes us different than the, I guess, template for modern indie wrestling, is we do bring in these fucking legendary
Enigmas,
guys.
yeah.
And, like, it becomes such, like, urban legend, even just amongst us. We have so much to talk about and laugh about. And, like, I thought, so when I was doing my my super secret thing in Columbus a couple weeks ago, they said that they said that Scott Norton was real crabby to deal with. I said, yeah, he's a grumpy guy. I had corned beef hash with him once at the XYZ on Detroit
XYZ
Avenue.
Tavern, yeah.
And it's just so funny that like you could just rattle off so much stupid stuff like that based on what's happened in AIW, because that's, I don't know why, and it probably doesn't make sense to fans, but it is like, if you are one of us, it is just so funny.
He told me I got
don't
a great handshake. I never need to change it for wrestling. He said too many people in wrestling have a pussy handshake. That's why I respected mine.
Which one? Who said that?
Scott Norton.
Getting the firm one. Yeah.
Plus, they're all, for the vast majority of them, are so cool when they come in that it makes it better.
We've never even gotten to the heist of Kevin Nash either.
Kevin Nash heist. I was just gonna say, when you said everyone was so cool, it's like, you know, Sabu was salty at the beginning, but then he had a trip. He had a trip over.
We found the prescription to get Sabu.
But you know the silver
sidebar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is breaking news. Breaking news.
A couple weeks ago in Indianapolis, we're after the alleged fights in the street of Indianapolis.
Oh God!
After I Sure You Were Open, we're back at the Wyndham, and there's a bunch of us drinking in Fonzie's room. And Fonzie is trying to order wonton soup, which is hilarious to me. I kept trying to videotape him. To, give me some of that wonton soup, Daddy. I want some wonton soup, maybe some fried rice. It's so funny to me. I don't know why. Cracking me up. And Fonzie just decides he's gonna drunk dial Sabu. Like
FaceTime.
Like you know, like you could.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. We weren't there. Yeah,
you
we
get
weren't
drunk,
there.
you
That's what I
call an
heard.
ex-girlfriend or something. You know, you get drunk, you start texting people.
Yeah.
Fonzie's just like speakerphone, Sabu phone call, and like we're just cracking up. And he's just like, "Hey, Daddy, how you doing, Sabu? Good. What have you been up to? Nothing.
It's like 3 a.m.
It's like, yeah, and like Sabu just like has one-word answers to him. He's like, "Shit sucks, no work." Fonzie, you want me to talk to my boss, John Thorne? You want me to talk to my boss about coming in? AIW Cleveland? Sabu, yeah, I was there once. Talk to him.
I think Sabu all business.
I think Alley Cat like tweeted a video of this, like a portion of it.
Yeah.
But we were all cracking up because like Sabu, like Fonzie's just drunk dialing Sabu at 3 o'clock in the morning in a hotel room, and he's telling him he's going to talk to his boss on his behalf, John Thorne.
What were all these fights in the street?
Oh,
well, we won't get into that. We won't get into that. That's fucking way behind the paywall, bro.
All right. Yeah. Fonzie has been a great addition to AIW. He was a great interview. He was a part of the podcast, and then thanks to him, Raven dropped in.
But like you were saying, like Sabu was salty at first, but then he turned out to have.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna talk about how he ate shit. He tripped over this like parking meter, and then that kind of changed his mood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But Duke said too, he had the medicine.
We found the quote unquote prescription to get Sabu in his happy place.
Raven, great.
He was a good dude.
All time. All time.
That's a story that didn't really hear.
What?
With him and Gage. This is kind of,
breaking news.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball.
All right, so after Wrestle Rage or whatever the fuck, we had that match with Gage, and we whooped their ass and beat him for sure, probably. Yeah. And so Gage, he's thanking me for not killing him in the ring and all that in the back. And Raven comes in to Raven took a liking to me during a seminar because I've watched all of the Secrets of the Rings with Raven, so I knew every answer.
Plus, you guys did a seminar earlier in the year.
So during his seminar, I knew every answer to every question he was going to ask. So he just loved me, and I got them all correct. And so he watched our match or whatever. He came in to talk to us in this tent in the back or whatever. And Gage was in there, thanking me for not killing him. Yeah. And he comes in and he's like about to say something, and Gage just turns to him and he just goes, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" And then Raven just turns around and walks away, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. And then Wes tries to talk to him, and he's just fucking rattled by Gage.
He was iced.
Yeah, he was iced. But I did love Raven, and when Thorne sent me out there to just throw that chair to him, that was fucking awesome.
Well, shout out to Nick Gage too. He's working his way back from an injury. Yeah, he's on the IR.
Buy a cameo from Nick Gage.
What, he hurt his ankle or something?
It's a different story. Everybody asking. I don't know.
Okay.
I've heard different things, but
Says injuries you got from
Somebody-
getting entangled with the shooters.
somebody
Build up over time.
This is what I'll say.
I beat him.
This is what I'll say. Because Nick Gage, all he ever wants to do is be on the AW podcast, and he hasn't yet. Buy a cameo from Nick Gage, plugging the AW podcast. Somebody out there,
And we'll put it on the intro.
yeah, or just put it on your own Twitter or send it
Yeah.
to us. Buy a cameo from Nick Gage, and tell him to promote. The card is going to change.
Yeah.
And the AW podcast. Make sure he knows it's the AW podcast because you gotta lay it all out there for him. But buy a cameo.
Where else can you have a Nick Gage cameo where he says MDK and drops a couple F-bombs and then says happy 4th birthday, Susie? I mean,
Susie.
You have a Fonzie and Raven dropping in was great. And what about we had our sit down with Glacier as well.
That was awesome. The Glacier seminar.
Did your blood run cold?
Glacier was like the coolest dude until he saw the sheet.
Yeah. That's how that went.
That's how it goes a lot of times.
I mean,
isn't it?
Thorne and I sat there recording that. Remember, we had it. It was set
John, I'm
on
losing.
like this little cart inside a huge.
It was in a conference room at the fucking Hilton or something.
Yeah,
John, I didn't know he was a champ.
We're just sitting in the middle of this conference room with the podcast set up on a cart, just talking to a microphone. And he's telling us all these
Did you get
stories.
the hospitality staff come in, make sure you got enough water and
Yeah, they were
snacks?
They were great. And Thorne and I were like, "This is going to be an amazing day." And then we got the tequila jacks.
The fucking mood changed, brother.
Went cold.
He wanted to wrestle me. He just kept asking, "You're not wrestling? Really?" I'm like, "No, I haven't even debuted yet." He's like, "Come on, you're not on the show?" I think he wanted to do business with me or something. I don't know.
Bring him back.
He knew you could lose.
Wow.
That was a weird day too,
undefeated, buddy.
because Janela broke his finger
his
on
finger.
that punch.
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
punch. I still got those. So I had no ice because I never have ice, and like Janela drove to Giant Eagle and bought frozen peas, and they're still in my freezer to this day. He bought
They
frozen.
haven't put them
And
up
you know
on
what
eBay
happened?
yet?
And you know what happened right before
We're
the
gonna
match
have
before
autograph
that?
Yeah.
know what happened
Unboxing. I'm going to
before
unbox
that?
those peas.
I smoked Mance Warner just like my boy the Iceman's about to do with Collective Weekend.
Good segue.
Yeah, great. We've also had some fan episodes on this podcast. We're about the fans,
Goldsteinies?
the Goldsteins, some Pod Van Dam guys, right? You had to sit down with them.
Yeah,
And
Rick
our-
Nelson was on one.
Rick
Ronnie
Nelson.
Deuces.
Rick Nelson was our very first fan one. We chatted with him.
Dude,
What
can you
Duke's doing
please
there?
turn the sound off on your phone?
Yeah, seriously. What's up with that?
That's your cell phone, brother.
I don't know.
Jesus.
Sorry, man.
John Thorne, when we sat down and talked to Rick Nelson,
Rick Nelson he bought that Patreon tier so we could teach him how to run UXWA. And then he unsubscribed.
Wait, what?
He did the master class.
If you
dude.
go
What's
back
the
and
master
listen,
class? You teach people how to book shows and stuff?
$100, bro.
if you go back and listen to that podcast, John Thorne and I sat there,
Took
answered
it
a
down,
bunch
man.
of
After that, Rick Nelson ruined it for
One
everybody.
and done.
bunch of questions from Rick Nelson, and Rick Nelson was asking us about working and running a promotion,
All of
and
a
then
sudden, he buys into UXWA, bro.
UXWA.
Cancels his Patreon sub, buys into UXWA.
Is that what Mikey did to get you to come out to Crown Point?
I'm still waiting for that
Throw
check
that
to clear.
hundo?
I'm still waiting for the check to clear.
Full-on consultant fee.
I've been getting a lot of consulting gigs, dude. Rise Wrestling, Pittsburgh, check them out. Marcus Mann.
Duke, you'd be happy
I'm like
to know.
John Taffer of the Indies, brother.
Shut it down.
Oh, great. We're upselling. All our concessions just went up $1.
At some point, I want to go through. I don't know that I really want to, but say this facetiously. I want to go through the podcast and find out how many times John Taffer's been referenced.
Oh, Biggins loved it.
Just a multiple. I've
Watched a
listened
little
to
Taffer today before I came over here.
There are
every Sunday, dude.
so many references to him, and it's pretty random.
Anyway, you had a
Fucking
question.
wild dog
I believe
up
you had a
there?
question for me.
I just wanted you to know that part of the 200 episodes is a pop culture Pete.
Oh, of course.
You are within the 200 episodes. It wasn't a Patreon exclusive. We let the people listen to it.
Yeah, we did sneak a couple of those Patreon premiums out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Free preview.
yeah.
In like a half hour, 15 minutes. Dude, what's your top 5 rappers of all time?
Dylon, and Dylon.
That's only one. So.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
It's only one, not 5. So.
But those are just some of. I know it seems like a lot, but those are some of the highlights throughout this whole journey that we've had for 200 episodes. And I don't know. Do we feel like doing 200 more episodes?
We'll see.
As long as there's no earth-threatening disease anymore, yeah, probably.
This thing started in 2016.
The year I
So,
graduated high school.
4 years been podcasting.
It's crazy.
I don't know if I thought that when I took over joining you guys in this that we would be here.
This is what I'll say though. I will say that it's like a wave. You know what I mean? Like it did get a little discouraging seeing the download numbers go down and stuff like that, to where it was like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. But then for every time I feel like I don't know if I want to do it, there's like the people that are listening are like such huge fans of it.
Yeah.
You got the shooters on.
It's really hard because it's like, man, this sucks. Like we're down like 4,000 downloads a week. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like our listenership went down 4,000 people, but like the people that are listening, they really enjoy it. So it's like it's really hard. Like it's really like conflicting. Like it really depends on my mood. Like, man, I'm so pumped to podcast, or it's like, man, I don't know. Like the whole COVID thing where I was just like, fuck it, we're taking months off. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't find the motivation to do it.
And I mean, the wrestlers enjoy it too. Nick Gage, big fan of the podcast.
He loves when we rip on Dr. Dan.
Who doesn't? I mean, come on.
What I guess as we wind this down, what are favorite moments of this podcast? Because I know you guys, you all listen, but what are some of your favorite moments if we didn't cover them?
All of them. Next.
Any moment that includes me are my favorites.
Yeah.
Same here.
But you two specifically, the shooters, you guys really were.
I do enjoy
The shooters?
No. I do enjoy Wes Barkley's hard sell when we have
let's get a hard sell
Monday.
going.
Yeah, when we
appreciate that.
Let's get a hard sell for the collective.
What do we got? The whole thing or just us? October 9th? 8 p.m.? Wait a minute. I held my tongue when we're talking about all these funny stories about one man.
Standing up now.
One man, Bill Alfonso. Everywhere I go, it seems you got a tracker on my phone, or I don't know what it is, right? And to pull the curtain back, I've been having nightmares. Okay? I wake up in the middle of the night sweating, and all I hear is this damn whistle. I see a chair thrown at me, and I wake up. So Bill Alfonso, October 9th, I hope you bring a freaking hazmat suit or something, because I'm throwing your ass headfirst into that barbed wire. And speaking of barbed wire, no rope barbed wire match. My man to the left of me, my left-hand man. Wait a minute, now he's my right-hand man. You know what I'm saying. Joshua Bishop taking back the gold from Matt Justice. Both the belts. Yes, sir, blue and red. Matt Justice, you got bugs in your eyes. You've been running the pack for too long, and it's time for the intense icon to take over. And if you're not sold on that, you're going to see the singles debut of the Iceman, Ricky Bricks, Mr. Brickster, taking out that punk Mance Warner. And we take out Second Gear Crew for good. And also, Mordecai is going to be there. So, be there, be square, and remember, like I always say, there's no squares in my circle, and you can bet on that.
See, that was more of a promo than a hard sell, but I'll take it.
It all blends together these
I'll
days.
take
I
it.
don't even know who I am, all right?
Fight TV, buy it.
Yeah. Buy it on Fight TV.
Order the pay-per-view on Fight.
What's our price there? Do we know?
$12.99, I think.
$12.99.
I believe
For only
$12.99.
$12.99, you can see me execute Matthew Justice live on pay-per-view.
He wants to go too, I think.
Yeah, he's gonna go fucking 6 feet under and straight to hell.
Wow. Well, hey, this has been a fun, incredible journey for 200 episodes. It's been fun for me, whatever that math is, 178 for me, I guess, 79, whatever. But thank you all for riding along with us, and we hope that you continue to do so for 200 plus more, and come out and support AIW October 9th in Indianapolis. Or buy it and watch it on Fight TV if you can't do so. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Follow AI Wrestling on all social media. And, subscribe to IWTV. Use your code ABSOLUTE. Get yourself a 5-day free trial. Catch up on AIW. Yes.
Also, sidetrack. If you're a gear maker, hit me up in the DMs. And if you're not going to charge me $200 to $300 for a fucking rush fee for one pair of trunks, please. Because I'm trying to get a pair of white trunks made for the collective to wear. But,
right.
yeah, $200 for a rush fee. Are you kidding me?
There you go. That's from Josh Bishop.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm about to learn how to. I'm trying to learn how to sew.
That guy's,
Bob Serpentini over
that guy
here.
is that guy is not a sponsor of the AIW
Who?
podcast.
Bob Serpentini.
No, he's not the one who
Oh.
does. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he is.
No, Serpentini's American and proud.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the Nissan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget his name.
Mike, is it D'Amato?
Mike D'Amato?
Yeah.
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 Mike D'Amato here.
You kidding me?
Nissan of North Olmsted.
Yeah.
And we got a deal for you. Anyway,
$12.99. That's a deal if I've ever heard one.
people in Cleveland will get that reference.
Yeah.
Nobody else will.
I will leave you with this.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
For the first time ever. First time ever.
Yep.
Stick around.
Oh.
And you will get the Chandler Biggins werewolf news story right now.
Boy, is this ever strange today, Wilma. Halloween may still be at least 3 weeks away, but a ghoulish story is already evolving in Bainbridge Township. Police there say Saturday night a man claiming to be a werewolf terrorized a local family. As Liz Clayman tells us now, the werewolf story would be funny if it weren't so doggone scary.
It's not often that you see the word werewolf on the front page headlines, but this story was no joke. This quiet street with the handmade sign and the tree-lined road became a sight of horror for some residents who called police to say a crazy man had crashed into their home.
We found out that he had just entered the home, was running through the home, terrorizing the residents. And when he was approached by the husband, he suddenly dived through a screen door. He was tackled and was yelling to our officers that he was a werewolf and to leave him alone.
And here's the so-called werewolf, 18-year-old Ayaz Dean of Chagrin Falls. Now, here's the scary part. Police tell us that before the suspect charged into the resident's home, he was for some reason charging through this pond here, and therefore he had this green algae dripping all over his head. The pond is just a stone's throw from the home where the ordeal began and ended.
A number of times he just was kind of ranting and raving at this point and saying that he was a werewolf to our officers.
And what did these officers think?
Well, obviously they knew they had a troubled young man and they just attempted to take him into custody at that point.
Nearby residents Stormy and Janice could not believe the story.
Yes, and it's not the 31st. My birthday is the 31st. I could take offense.
Instead, from now on, they'll take precautions.
I never lock the doors. Guess what? I will now. Yeah, me too.
In the meantime, the alleged werewolf has been charged with breaking and entering. In Bainbridge Township, Liz Clayman, News Channel 5.
We tried to reach the suspect today, but his family told us he had no comment.